Welcome to the Maximize Business Value podcast brought to you by Mastery Partners, where our mission is to equip business owners like you to maximize your business value and achieve the exit of your dreams, whatever that means to you. With insights gained from over 100 business transactions, we share real-world strategies, lessons, and expert advice to help you build long-term, sustainable value in your business. Each episode is hosted by one of our Mastery certified partners. They're seasoned experts who've helped countless business owners navigate the complexities of growth, scaling, and building value. They bring first-hand experience, actionable insights, and a passion for helping you build a business that thrives. So let's dive in.
As we would hire people, the Great Game became a great piece of our recruitment strategy because it was unique. It was different. It became a great piece of our retention strategy because when people, recruiter calls and says, "Hey, come join us over here," well, they weren't going to get near the level of transparency reward over there as they did here. And then I like to think that we were raising a generation of very entrepreneurial consultants. And I would expect that a lot of those people, the illusion that I could never start a business, entrepreneurship is too complicated for me. I don't think that's real. And I think people just don't understand the tenets of business. And if they did, they might just take that entrepreneurial leap themselves. And so I hope that we created a generation of consultants that are all going to create consultancies. And they're going to go run businesses because they were inspired to say, I can do that. I understand how a business makes money.
Yeah, that's great. Yeah, that kind of gives me chills because I fully expect that you're going to see that. You're going to see those guys out there. That's wonderful.
I hope so.
Yeah. So when we work with companies, and this is obviously it's an age-old kind of saying, I guess, but many times, particularly with small businesses, the first objective is to get the business owner or the CEO to start to take a step back and work more on their business than in their business.
Yeah.
And Tom Bronson, our leader within Mastery Group, he at one time, in one of these podcasts, I can't remember which episode, I actually interviewed him because he's been very successful and he's built businesses, he's exited businesses, he's done everything. And I quizzed him one time. I said, "Have you ever faced failure?" And he said, "Yeah, that'd make a good podcast." And that was the deal that he actually went in to the pizza restaurant business. He knew that business segment very, very well, had a software company that worked in that segment. They had been very successful. Lots of cool stuff happened. And so he and a family friends, they decided to have the two families decided we're going to start a company or start a restaurant. We're going to go do this. And he was guilty. He said several things happened and the wheels came off and ultimately it was not a success. But he calls it stirring the sauce. And he says, this is when the owner of the restaurant's back in the kitchen stirring the sauce. They're not doing the things owners need to be doing. They're doing, things the chef needs to be doing. And so, how do you communicate that to folks when you're coaching is, you've got to pull yourself back a little and get out of stirring the sauce.
Oh man. And we've all been there. I mean, we all
Yeah.
kind of we feel like at times that we just if I just do it myself, I could do it faster, I could do it better.
Yeah.
And the
Quick.
reality is that
I
doesn't
need it done
scale.
quickly. Yeah.
Exactly. And so it really is a fool's errand. The analogy that I use with CEOs and entrepreneurs is if you want to build a sellable business,
Yeah.
you're going to have to play chess. Like you're going to have to stack informed strategic decisions on top of each other.
Yep.
But the reality is you're going to have to play chess while playing racquetball because operations is racquetball, right? I mean, there is a ball in the air all the time,
Yep.
and you can never let the ball drop.
And it's headed for
So,
you.
oh my gosh. So how do you play chess while playing racquetball?
Yeah.
That is the great tension I think that CEOs and entrepreneurs face. And
Yeah.
you'll never do that if your hands are on every control in the cockpit.
Yeah.
You're going to have to turn it over to allow yourself to play chess. And of course, as you and I know, part of the process is if there's dependency on a CEO,
Yeah.
that's not a sellable business. If the
No, or
business
if it
doesn't make
is,
money without you there, then you will always either A, have to be there
yeah,
or replace yourself.
yeah,
And so I think part of our process helps people reach a place that they can
yeah,
have a business that is independently productive and profitable, and they become strategic and additive
yeah.
and not dependent.
Yeah, and that's if nothing else, it's we talk about reasons that businesses don't sell or are going to sell at a discount, and certainly CEO dependency or owner dependency is a value killer for big time. We definitely see that. Um, so and you just expressed, in the last couple of questions I think we talked about is um, when we engage and help a CEO, having you've sat in that seat, I have as well. What's usually the main thing that you have to do to actually kind of land the aircraft and just say, we want to work together. That what
Sure.
do you think really normally is the reason that they would engage with you?
Yeah, no, great question. I think that I had a boss one time who was just strategically brilliant, and he always told me that the first call or the first meeting, all you're trying to discern is, are we same tribe?
Yeah,
If we're same tribe, we value the same things. We would define success the same way. We would define integrity the same way. If we're same tribe, all things are possible.
yeah,
If
yeah,
we're not same tribe, it's probably just best to move on. So I think my first interaction is always, is there alignment in the things
yeah.
that are important to each of us? I think the connection that I would have with an entrepreneur is I'm them. I mean, I've been in that seat.
Hmm.
I understand it's a pretty lonely place. And a lot of times, CEOs are dealing with issues they don't feel like they can share with anybody. You're not going to walk out and say, "Hey, I'm really nervous about payroll." You can't do that, right?
Yeah.
And so,
Bank,
who does
bank just
that?
called our note.
Exactly. Who does that person speak to? And I think that's the privilege that we kind of get to play at Mastery Partner or
Yeah,
my consultancy, Battle Ready Advisors, is that
yeah.
my younger brother, whom you know very well, and he described me one time as I'm an entrepreneur Sherpa, that I can come alongside an entrepreneur, help carry some of the load, whether
Yeah,
that's emotional, whether that's practical, whether that's business, and just help them get across the goal line that they want to cross in a way
yeah.
that's pretty empathetic and helpful, I think. So
Yeah, that's a great way to approach it. And so that really leads me into my next question. So this I haven't asked this question, I don't think, for anyone that I've interviewed on the Maximize Business Value podcast, but we really don't have any rails here. So
sure.
I'm going to go ahead and do this. So
I love it.
what role do you see that faith and family play in your approach to business?
Ah, man, I'm so thankful that you asked. I'm really passionate. I'm really passionate about my faith. I'm really
Yeah,
passionate about my family, and so I mean, when you think about the things that make us excited as entrepreneurs, I mean, we like creating things, right? We like stewarding resources well. We like shepherding families. We like
yeah,
shepherding lives. And I think part of why sometimes that really resonates with us is that's found in the character and behavior of God. I
yeah,
mean, at the end of the day, he created and he stewarded and he shepherded. And I think when we do those things and we do those things well, I think there's great pleasure in it.
yeah.
And so I don't know that you've heard of it. There's a gentleman named Wayne Grudem. He's a theologian. He writes really big, thick, systematic theology kind of books.
Wow,
Not the kind of book that most people would read, but his daddy was his hero, and he was just a business guy. And
wow.
so Wayne Grudem wrote a very thin book. It's about 60, 70 pages, and it's called Business for the Glory of God.
Mm,
And it takes these ideas like profit and ownership and stewardship and it's in management. And it says, are these tenets of business in and of themselves good, bad, or neutral? And he makes the argument biblically
yeah,
that every one of them is good, that these are
wow,
good things that we do.
yeah,
So my favorite thing is, if an entrepreneur and a CEO happens to be a follower of Christ, and I can help them think about their business in a missional way, they have such a unique opportunity to lead and love in a different way in a business context that a lot of employees may never see.
yeah,
And so what
yeah,
an opportunity. What
yeah.
an opportunity to make a difference. And so yeah, I appreciate you asking. And then my family, I married high school sweetheart. We've been married 32 years. We've got 4 kids that are astoundingly amazing. And our first grandchild is due in about a month. And
Wow.
so, so excited. So, yeah, again, I love working with the CEO who, yeah, they want to succeed in business, but they don't want to succeed in business if it means failing at home.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
so I love helping them think about how can we create a scalable business while not sacrificing
Yeah.
things that just shouldn't be sacrificed.
I
And
was really
that's a
fortunate.
privilege.
Yeah, I was fortunate early on in my career that I've started my career with a Fortune, I guess it was a time of Fortune 200 company. So it's a big company with big company structure and people and politics and all that fun stuff. But it did help me learn this is business. I mean, I came out of college. I went to business school, but I wasn't in business and didn't grow up working in a big business like that or anything like that. So it was helpful. And then I went to work for a much smaller, that $20 million company, and it was wonderful because the guy I had that hired me was saw something in me which I probably didn't see in myself even. But and he spent a lot of time at the beginning. He said, that we're in a complex business. Don't worry about that. We're in business, and let me tell you how I think about business. And he really had his priorities. He said, God is number one for me. My family is number two. Business is, I won't say a distant third, but it's definitely third. So and his business decisions were all filtered by, am I going to be right with God making this decision? Is this going to be okay with my family? Is this going to help my family? Is it going to hurt my family? So even though he was the most successful guy in the entire company, the most successful sales guy. He built a region of most very successful salespeople, and so we were on top, and a lot of it was his philosophy. It's just the way he looked at things. So that's carried me, which has really helped. And so I think it's important for people, particularly when we're in a consultative role. I think with people, we're not changing the way, we're not here to change their culture. We're not here to change their beliefs or any of that. But we are here to help them and help them reach their goals. And I think if you go all the way back to our initial engagement, if it's not the right fit, I think we call it immediately and just say, I know you need help. I'm probably not the best person to help you. I'll do my best to find that person and guide them your way, But I think those are important things. And a lot of times I think we can sit down with somebody and know in pretty short order, are we going to be able to work together?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Yeah, that's fun stuff. So any questions that I didn't ask that or anything you want to postulate on? I don't know how you feel about Taylor Swift being engaged or anything like that. I
Oh
mean,
my gosh, my wife would tell you I'm probably the least interested person as it relates to entertainment news. That is not my jam. Um, you know, Off the cuff, the first thing that comes to my head is, again, it ties into the conversation we just had, but it's really about balance.
yeah,
Is, entrepreneurs, so much is demanded of
yeah,
starting a business and running a business, and so I think a lot of people it's they start out with this idea that success is going to be defined
yeah,
as, yes, it's business, but it's my family, it's these other things. And then
yeah,
sometimes they just feel like that the tax required to grow a business cost more than they wanted to pay
yeah,
down the road. And so I think just that balance, and part of that balance is work, part of that balance is family, part of that balance is fitness. I mean, I'm
yeah,
pretty passionate about fitness stuff, and just, what is it, Warren Buffett, who, you've probably heard him interviewed, where he said, if somebody told you at the age of 16 you're going to get one car, it's the only car you're ever going to be able to drive your whole life, would you take care of the car?
yeah,
And it's like, well, of course I would.
yeah,
But that's true of like our
yeah.
bodies,
What
and
you're
yet,
walking around
oh
in
my
here.
gosh, we eat Twinkies and we don't exercise and all these
Yeah,
things. And so, again, part of, I think, that balance that makes us a better leader and entrepreneur is if there's just a healthiness to our life, and that's
yeah,
relationally, that's physically, that's spiritually, and that's financially. So,
yeah. They're all tied together. For
all
sure.
the time together.
Sure.
Yeah.
That's excellent. Excellent. Well, as you know, this is the Maximize Business Value podcast. So one question we ask every guest that we have is what's the one most important thing that you recommend that business owners do to build value in their company?
It's a great question.
I know there's 1,000 things, but we're
Oh, there's
number one.
no, the
The
thing that I
David
would
Brown
say
number
is,
one.
yeah, just be intentional, like build with the end in mind.
Yeah.
Because, if you could get an entrepreneur to slow down long enough to actually strategically define success and direction, and then let that decision inform all the million decisions they'll have to make on a daily basis while playing racquetball, they will likely find themselves at the intended destination. And so I think the message would be build your business on purpose.
Yeah.
And so what's the Texas phrase of measure twice, cut once?
Yeah.
Right? I mean, it's that same thing. And so many entrepreneurs, they started a business and then it got a hold of them. It's like having a tiger by the tail and they're just running.
Yeah.
And they don't ever pause long enough, even in the context of what you and I do. Are they planning to be able to sell a business? No, I'll just sell it when I'm done. Well, if you don't at some point define what done is and learn what sellable is,
Yep.
you may not find yourself being able to realize that dream. I think that's what makes what you and I do fun, which is we get to help people realize that dream, but we start 3 or 4 years in advance, helping them build with purpose into what they're doing. So that'd be my best
Yeah,
counsel
that's a
I can
wonderful
give.
one. And we've not had that one before. It's
Okay,
interesting. People talk about owner dependency and get your
sure.
financials in order and all that kind of fun stuff, the meat and potatoes of running a business. But that intentionality, I think, is super important. And yeah, that's just many things came to mind when you were saying that. But we've got examples of people that, particularly because entrepreneurs, they're creative. They have a new slant on something. They have a new product, a new service, something that's totally different. We're launching a company. We're going to build a company around this. So they're not often thinking about, the exit or, what does this look like 5 years from now, 10 years from now, whatever. And certainly with the entrepreneurial operating system that we work with, we do our 90-day look at the life, and we do our quarterly look, and we do an annual look, and we do a 3-year and a 5-year and a 10-year. But when we get out to the 5 and 10 years, most entrepreneurs are really fuzzy about what that's going to be.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
an interesting take on it. So, well, that is awesome. I've so enjoyed it. I'm really looking forward to working alongside you as we
Very
work
much
to
so.
help folks really improve, their personal situation, that of their employees, their companies, and everyone, all the stakeholders, really, when you get into that. So,
Well, Dave, thanks for having me. I really appreciate it
yeah.
and super excited to work
Well,
with
and I'm
Tom and
I'm
the rest of
excited
the
to
team.
watch you host some of these podcasts and see the insightful questions that you ask, because inquiring minds want to know. So
I'll enjoy that myself.
so with that, this is the Maximize Business Value podcast. So this is the place where we give practical advice to business owners who are really serious about building long-term sustainable value in your business. We do this each week, so please tune in to the channel, subscribe and like and all those fun things, and every week, so you don't miss every episode is just as good as the one you've heard. Well, maybe not just as good, but as good as the one you've heard with David Brown. So until we see each other again, see you next time.
This episode is the second of a 2-part release. To hear part 1, follow the link below. Thank you for listening to the Maximize Business Value podcast.
Thanks for joining us for another episode of the Maximize Business Value podcast. I hope today's conversation sparked new ideas on how you can continue driving value in your business. But remember, it's not just about listening. It's about taking massive action. Visit our website, masterypartners.com, for more resources. Grab a copy of any of the books in the Maximize Business Value series on Amazon or via the links below. And don't hesitate to reach out if you want to know how to apply these concepts to your business. So until next time, I'm Tom Bronson, reminding you to relentlessly execute while you maximize business value.